Today, I'm sharing the number one parenting shift we all must learn and practice that will empower, equip, and instill confidence in our children and actually relieve our stress as well, believe it or not.
Hi, and welcome to Beyond Empty Nest. I'm your host, Jody Silverman, speaker, mentor, and Chief Dare Officer at Moms Who Dare. Every Thursday, I'll share stories of midlife transformation, happiness tips, and dare you to see the opportunities waiting for you so that you can make this next chapter even better than the last. If you're ready to dare, I'm ready to dare with you. Let's get into today's episode.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there listening, who else here identifies themselves as a fixer? I'm here to tell you that most women do, especially moms. And look, it makes sense, right? When our children are born, they're 100% reliant on us to thrive, to eat, to be changed, to be safe. So naturally, we become the fixer of all things. The problem with this occurs when we don't begin to shift out of fixer mode as our children grow up. Today, I'm sharing the number one parenting shift we all must learn and practice that will empower, equip, and instill confidence in our children and actually relieve our stress as well, believe it or not. And do you know what that number one parenting shift is? It's going from fixer to coach. And let me just tell you, I did not do a good job of this. And it wasn't until my children were in the late stages of high school that I started to learn a little bit more what it meant to shift from fixer to coach. And do you know what the key to making this shift is? Asking questions, something else I wasn't very good at. So what's our goal as parents? Is to raise our children to become great adults. I heard that said years ago at a conference for a company that I was working for by a gentleman called Andy Andrews. And I looked at my husband, I'm like, yeah, our goal is to raise our children to become great adults. And what does that mean? What does it mean for you? For me, it translates to being kind, being productive, and being able to navigate life through challenging situations, conflict resolution, and making decisions. Notice I didn't say making great decisions, because sometimes we make not so great decisions, and that helps us grow and learn to navigate life. But our goal as parents is to raise our children to be able to be productive and kind and great adults so they can navigate life for themselves. So how can we expect our sons and daughters to make decisions and resolve conflicts if we're always telling them what to do? And here's the thing. For those of you that are getting ready to send your sons or daughters off to college for the first time, this is critical. This is when it became critical for me. And trust me when I say I was not perfect in making this shift. It takes practice, and it's okay. And the one thing I'm going to say is forgive yourself if you go back in the fixer mode. It's okay. I've actually called up my kids and my daughter actually recently and apologized. I said, I know I just offered you my opinion and you didn't want it. I apologize. She's like, it's okay, Mom. So, but it starts with understanding how to make the shift, practicing it. And what's that number one thing we all need in parenting? Self-awareness. In order to make shifts or changes within ourselves and others, we have to be aware of ourselves. So it's learning how to make this shift, being aware of when we're in the fixer mode so we can snap out of it a little quicker and shift over to coach. And if you like the word advisor, coach and advisor are interchangeable for here. If the number one key to making this shift and practicing this shift is asking questions, I have a gift for you. I have 5 questions that I came up with for your parenting toolbox to help you with this shift. But before I tell you where to find that, I need you to understand how it sounds to be the fixer versus how it sounds to be the coach. So here's an example. The fixer always tells you what to do. And I want you to keep in mind one thing here, because this shift can absolutely help you in all your relationships with family, with friends, with coworkers, with your boss. Because think about the one person in your life who every time you talk to them, share something with them, they're telling you what to do. And have you ever felt like, I didn't call you to ask your opinion, I'm just venting here? Keep that in mind as we continue and as I share the questions with you. So the fixer tells you what to do. The fixer is always trying to solve the problem for you, versus the coach or the advisor asks questions to help you figure out the best course of action or the best solution. I'm telling you again, I can't say this enough. This is something I am constantly working on. So be kind, be gentle to yourself, give yourself grace. If you go to fixer when coach would have been better, it will happen. All right. So the fixer sounds like this. This is what you should do. If I were you, I would fill in the blank. You know what? You need to fill in the blank. Or even this is how you want to, versus the coach or the advisor sounds like this. So what outcome are you looking for here? And if it's a conflict, you might want to say, like, what role, if any, have you played in this situation? Who else is involved? Great question. Who might be able to help you where you are? Is there somebody on campus, at work, that you could run this by for support? That's the coach. And as I was reading the fixer and as I was reading the coach, I actually was calmer with the coach. We think if we fix it, we're gonna feel better because we're preventing our children from getting hurt or failing. Yet it's very stressful for us. We're hurting them in their decision-making abilities. When we are constantly trying to fix on a subconscious level, we're telling them we don't trust you to do it. And it's all rooted in our fear of wanting to protect our children, a good intent and good intentional fear of wanting to help our children. Yet we have to let our children make decisions that sometimes will work out and sometimes won't. We're there to guide them. That's the beauty of this next season of life in the empty nest chapter as your children become adults. You're still their mom. This is why I tell you, you're still relevant in your children's life. They only know what they know. They don't know how to navigate life. And they're going to come to you for support, advice, for venting. And you get to practice. And I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to practice ingraining and embracing these 5 questions to support you in going from fixer to coach. So remember, the end goal is to raise your children to be self-sufficient, independent, thriving adults who can make decisions and resolve conflict. And by making this shift from fixer to coach, you are giving your sons, your daughters the best gift ever, empowerment and confidence. I want you to try it out. And here's how you're going to do it. The next time, well, wait, before I tell you what you're going to do the next time, let me give you the 5 questions, and then I'll share with you how you can use them. The 5 questions every mom must have in her parenting toolbox. And yes, there's a link in the show notes below to grab this whole resource. It's a 4-page fixer to coach resource that you can just download, print out, and have with you. Number 1, the permission question. This is my go-to question. This one question alone, if you never embrace the other 4, will change the tone of the relationship and the phone calls and the conversations, not only with your adult children, but with friends and family as well. The permission question sounds like this. Hey, are you looking for me to listen and be your sounding board, or would you like me to offer my opinion and thoughts when you're finished sharing this with me? Powerful. You're setting an expectation. Expectations are important. You're letting the person calling you with the problem set the expectation. When I've been good, when I've been on my coaching platform, and I've asked this question for my children, they've said both. I want your opinion. And other times they said, no, I'm just venting. The permission question, number one. Number two is the clarification question. I always say clarify everything, assume nothing. So a clarification question could sound like, what is the outcome you're looking for in this situation? Or, okay, to be sure I understand, and then you restate what you believe to be what they shared with you. Number three, the resource question. Who on campus, at work, etc., can help you ask, can you ask for help with this situation? Where on campus, at work, etc., might you be able to find some answers or support? This is important because as parents of children away at college, whether they're 20 miles away or thousands of miles away, you can't just jump in your car and go and fix a situation. And if you can, I'm going to should you, you shouldn't. The resource question, guide them on finding help and support. A quick story. My daughter, freshman year, one thing that our children aren't prepared for when they go to college is that feeling of disconnection, that feeling of not having that person in their life. Most of our children have grown up through preschool, elementary school, middle school, and high school with the same friends, the same circle of people who know them so well. They can walk into a room and they can tell whether your son or daughter is having a good day or a bad day. This feeling of disconnection can really be heavy, can have them feeling sad and lonely in the first few weeks of college. It happens, and they'll call you. Well, my daughter called me, and she was sad, and she sounded a little depressed. Not clinically depressed, but she just sounded off. And she told me, she goes, I just feel alone. And the conversation went on. And I said to her, I said, Ellie, I said, there could be resources on campus to help you. This is a normal way to feel. I'm here. You can call me. I'm always here to talk to you. If you want to say good night, good morning, in the day or night, you can always call me. And yet I think you might benefit from maybe talking to somebody in the counselor's office. Is there a counselor's office that you might be able to research and go and see? She says, I never thought of that, Mom. So yeah, I kind of was fixing it, but I was kind of guiding her. So sometimes there's a blurred line between the fixer and coach because they might not know. Could you go online and Google it with me while I'm on the phone with you? And you can stay with your son or daughter. So the resource question. The fourth question is the self-reflection question. And this really is for resolving conflicts because I believe that a conflict takes more than one person. And whether or not it's a 50-50 fight, a 50-50 conflict, you had a role in a conflict. We all have a role in a conflict. It could be 5% or it could be 100%. I mean, 95%, but you played a role somewhere along the line in this conflict. So the self-reflection question sounds like, what is your role in this situation or conflict? What is your role in it? And sometimes we have to have our children take a hard look at what they might have done to have participated in the conflict. And then finally, question number 5, love this, the empathy question. If they call you, one of the number one reasons for conflicts is that with your roommate. There are so many reasons why you could have conflicts with your roommate. So the empathy question I love is, if the roles were reversed, how would you want to be approached? And they might be like, you know what? And then they can go and approach that way. How would you like to see the situation resolved? What seems fair to everyone? What's the outcome you're looking for? Those are the 5 questions. And I promise you, if you practice them, and you can print this out, for those of you watching, this is a whole resource I have for you. I'm showing you the sheets that you can have at your fingertips whenever you need it. To practice, to create greater self-awareness of when you're going to the fixer mode versus the coach mode. And when you go to the coach mode, you're more fully present. You can hear what people are saying to you because you're not waiting in your mind. You're not thinking about formulating an answer, a solution while they're talking. If you're doing that, you're not hearing and being fully present for the conversation with your children, with a friend, with the family. So we're going to all practice going from fixer to coach. We're going to stop with the shoulds, the needs, you have to, and we're going to go towards asking questions. And here's your dare. Are you ready for your dare? Begin to practice simply by asking the number one question, the permission question, all week for everyone you come in contact with. Whoever calls you with a question, whoever calls you with a situation, a problem, whoever calls you to bitch, moan, and complain about something in their life, whether it's at the beginning of the conversation or when they're finished bitching and moaning, ask them, so was this just a venting session? Are you asking me for an opinion or thought? And you can move to the clarification question if they say, well, I wanted your opinion. What exactly are you asking me for here? So the permission question, I want you to get used to the permission question because this number one question can change everything for you. And it can lead to the clarification question, the resource question, the self-reflection question, and the empathy question. So that's it. And you can download this complete resource below in the show notes. I want to hear how this worked for you. I want to hear what you thought of this episode. Will this help you in strengthening connection and understanding that you're still their mom when they go off to college? Will this help you in your relationships? I know it will. Share it with me. I want to hear which of these questions resonates most with you, how it felt to put it into practice. And you can share that with me by leaving a review if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, leaving a comment if you're watching the video version of our show, or simply sending me an email, shooting me a direct message. I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm everywhere. You can find me. And if you get my weekly email, just reply to that email. I'm so excited for you to get started on making this shift. When you do, you will not only empower and instill confidence in your children, you will feel calmer, less stressed, you will be more fully present, and all your relationships will improve. And for moms, that's one step closer to really having connection and great relationships and fostering a great relationship with your adult children. And we all deserve that. Don't forget, next week, a new episode of Beyond Empty Nest is coming your way again on Thursday. And as I always say, dare on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond Empty Nest. For detailed show notes and more information, be sure to visit jodysilverman.com. Have you heard of the Double Dares? Well, we're a community of moms and midlife women blending virtual and in-person interactions for connection, support, and exciting experiences. From Mommy and Me classes to soccer sidelines, moms have always found strength in community. And as we navigate the empty nest and other midlife transitions, having that go-to safe space and other women to lean on is a must. Ladies, this is not the chapter to do it alone. Our drama-free group echoes the sentiment of the Cheers theme song, a place where everybody knows your name and our troubles are all the same. If you've been seeking connection and have a desire to figure out who you are and what your purpose is now, then Moms Who Double Dare is the perfect fit for you. Only through the link in our show notes below can you explore and enjoy the first month at half off. Plus, with no contracts, there's zero risk involved. Join us today and get started on your journey of self-discovery, surrounded by new friends who understand and get you. You've sent your kids off to brave new experiences, meet new people, and discover who they get to be. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to embrace this new adventure. If you're ready to dare on, I'm here to lead the way. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Click the link below, and as I always say, dare on.